Mm, mm. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om Govindaya Namaha. Govardhanaya Namaha. Aniruddhaya Namaha. Keshavaya Namaha. Madhavaya Namaha. Pradyumnaya Namaha. Upendraya Namaha. Rishikeshaya Namaha. Om Shanti. Greetings to all the spiritual seekers, and welcome to this particular divine production dealing with Bhagavad Gita and its relevance to control your anger, your greed, and desires. If one can do this, one will be home. One can concentrate on the spiritual path and balance your material life with that of the spiritual life in order to accomplish your very goal of experiencing that peace and bliss. In this particular divine session, I would like to chant the Sanskrit shlokas from Bhagavad Gita as is, and then try to explain in both languages, English as well as Telugu. I may not be able to elaborate that much in Telugu as I'm going to do in English, but please try to understand in both the languages. Parthaya pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrutavarshini Bhagavatim Astadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. Ah, ah. Let's first meditate upon the mother of wisdom, that Bhagavad Gita, which contains 14 chapters and was instructed to Arjun before the war began in the Kurukshetra battlegrounds, taught by Narayana himself, Lord Krishna. Actually, Bhagavad Gita contains immortal wisdom in the form of nectar to be milked or to be poured into the mouth of Arjun and into the mouths of all seeking his shelter. It deals with Advaita, that oneness, that non-dual principle that Lord himself authored and introduced to all through various rishis in various ages, through Vedas, through Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita itself. Bhagavad Gita, you are the one has the ability to make us cut down the bonds with sansar so that we tread the path of spiritualism and never get into the cycle of samsara, that repetitious birth and death. Hari Om, Om Shanti. Obeisances to Bhagavad Gita. In this particular chapter, let's chant a few important shlokas that deal with anger, karma, desire, and lobha, that greediness. These three are the doors to the hell. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. According to Lord Krishna, they are the main doors. They are the root cause of all the problems, the miseries that we go through in this samsara. You see, when one gets angry, that anger is the root cause of all problems. Essentially, it severs all the bonds with your own wife, children, friends, relatives. It cuts down everything. If you are in that mode, and then if you cannot control your senses, that is it. You are ruined. So it would be better to control your anger. How can you control your anger, your desires, your karma, your greediness? The three things which are the doors to the hell. What would you prefer? You would like to enter the door of permanent peace and bliss, or choose to do this way, going to the hell, and then revolve in the cycle of repetitious birth and death, so that you never extricate yourself from this samsara saga, this bhava saga. When you have the wisdom from Upanishads, from Bhagavad Gita, then you can actually traverse this samsaric samudra, samsaric ocean without any problem, because you will not be attached to the duality. You will be equipoised in the duality. Only think about the Lord, absorb your mind with that of the consciousness of Paramatman. Once you seek his shelter, surrender to him in every which way, then you will not have any problems, no miseries, no maladies. While you are alive in this human form, in this very life, then you can reach his abode of peace and bliss. That should be the main goal of each and every one. So let's not get angry. Let's not be greedy. And let's not be driven by the desires to enjoy the fruits of our actions. Rather, dedicate all works, all your performances, all your karma to the Lord, and work for the welfare of the human beings at large. Then you will not be bound by your karmic reactions. All sins will be absolved. How wonderful it would be if everyone does this way, so that you live life like people used to do in the golden age. That Kruta Yug, the very first one in the cycle of epochs, the yugas. We have still thousands of years to get into that. mode of operation for the human beings, according to Lord Krishna. Many years, about 426,000 years to elapse to get into that mode of operation for human beings. Nobody knows who is going to be surviving to enter, set your foot into that age at the time. We are not going to see that, but the generations to come in the future, they will be able to see that. But you see, you have a chance. If you identify yourself as the very individualized aspect of the Paramatman, when you realize yourself, your true nature as part and parcel of that Paramatman, then you can actually reach his abode of peace and bliss while you are alive at this moment. The sooner, the better. Okay? So while you are alive, you can be liberated right here within your own body. Your soul needs to be liberated from the Maya, from this Bhavasaga. So operate under that mode. Go beyond the Trigunas. Then place yourself in the transcendental platform, thinking about the Lord all the time, his associates, his abodes, his various names, his opulences, his leelas, the pastimes. Share with others, get ecstasy. Do not waste your time, the God gifted time. Do not waste it. Channelize, if you have time, to become a devotee of Lord Krishna, a devotee of Lord Shiva, a devotee of Lord Rama, or any other incarnations of the Lord. That Nirgun, Nirakar, Nirvishesh, Brahman, the universal, the cosmic consciousness. You know, you have the individual consciousness. You need to merge your consciousness with that of the Paramatman. That means you will enjoy that oneness. That's the most sought after aim of being born as a human being on this earthly plane. Even demigods, up to Lord Brahma, who is responsible for creating this world under the dominion of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, is also subject to various modifications, job changes, and he also needs moksha. At the end of 311 trillion and 40 billion years, every Brahma changes his job. They are not liberated as well. They are subject to the cycle, repetitious cycle of birth and death. Unless and until you are a human being, you cannot be liberated. That means you gotta get your own true identification and merge with the Lord. That means you have to get enlightened and then see that Mahabharat, that great effulgence. Then you have fulfilled your very goal of being born as a human being on this earthly plane. Even devatas, demigods, all of them, they would like to be born as humans and get that final liberation. Being at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, that Brahman, that Vishnu, that Shiva, that Rama, serve at his lotus feet and experience the true peace and bliss. That's what we need. Okay, so let's get to some of the shlokas that I was referring to. Um, and then see how they help us understand this material world, and what is the inconvenience of getting anger, greed, and then also trying to fulfill all your desires, a hound of desires popping up every time. Even though you fulfill some desires, they pop up, innumerable desires. If you are situated in material consciousness, if you're not situated in material consciousness, if you're situated in spiritual consciousness, then you do not have any worry. You are trouble free. Mind that. Mm, So, what would you prefer? Being born as a human being on this earthly plane, would you like to get angry, fulfill your unending number of desires to gratify your senses? Or would you like to channel all your energy toward the Lord in loving devotion and get that peace and bliss permanently? The choice is yours. You are at your free will to operate. This is what Lord Krishna says. It is all up to you whether you would like to get liberation in this Janma or another Janma or never get it. Only revolve through the cycle of times. Okay, so let's get to the first shlok, dealing with three main doors leading to the hell. When you get angry, when you become greedy, and when you like to fulfill your unending desires, when you are in material consciousness. Trividham, Trividham Narakashyedam Dwaram Nasanamatmanaha Kamah Krodasthatha Lobastasmatrayam Tyajet Kamah Krodasthatha Kamah Krodasthatha Lobastasmadetrayam Tyajet Ah, Through this stanza, Lord Krishna says that Kama, Krodha, and Lobha, these are the three gates to the hell. They are self-destructive. They do not help elevate your Atma so that you are part and parcel of the Paramatma. These three will degrade your Atma, elevating your Atma to your true nature, and then realizing the nature of the God. It all depends when you identify yourself as an individualized Atman. Therefore, Lord Krishna suggests strongly to renounce these three, that lag, lust, anger, and greediness. One needs to renounce, then only one can reap benefits of treading the path of spiritualism. ఈ శ్లోకాన్ని, ఈ శ్లోకంలో ఉన్నటువంటి అర్థాన్ని మనము తెలుగులో తెలుసుకుందాం. చూడండి, ఒకవేళ శ్రీకృష్ణుడు తెలుగు మాట్లాడినచో ఎలా చెప్పును చూద్దాం. ఆత్మ వినాశనానికి దారి తీసే నరక ద్వారములు 3 ఉన్నాయి: కామము, క్రోధము మరియు లోభము. కాబట్టి అందరూ వీటిని విడిచిపెట్టాలి. ఇక ఇంకో శ్లోకంలో ఏముందో తెలుసుకుందాం. లెట్స్ సీ what is embedded in this following stanza uttered by Lord Krishna. And what are the benefits of controlling, subduing your senses and keeping your mind absorbed on the Lord? Let's see what type of benefits we have. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्तासीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता, तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. In the Aziz words of Lord Krishna, they are established in perfect knowledge who subdue their senses and keep their minds ever absorbed in me. Let's see, when Lord Krishna says these words in Telugu, how do they sound? తెలుగులో ఈ శ్లోకంలో ఉన్నటువంటి గూఢార్థాన్ని తెలుసుకుందాం. ఎవరైతే తమ ఇంద్రియములను వశమునందు ఉంచుకొని మనస్సుని నాయందే ఎల్లప్పుడూ లగ్నము చేయుదురో వారు సంపూర్ణ జ్ఞానములో స్థితులై ఉన్నట్టు. Let's see what Lord Krishna says in this stanza about the sequence of events that lead to the destruction of oneself when one gets absorbed in this material world, when one thinks about the material subjects and objects without controlling one's senses, as the senses run after material subjects and objects like wild horses. You cannot control them because your mind has yielded to your senses, your 5 senses, your ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and touch. They are like 5 wild horses. You see, because you are not thinking in terms of controlled mind, controlling your mind with your intelligence, your buddhi, and then you can only operate under that mode when you think that you are a soul. Then only you can do this. And let's see what is embedded in this shlok uttered by Lord Krishna and the consequences of the series of events that follow. ఈ శ్లోకం ద్వారా మనము ఒకవేళ మనకు కోపం వచ్చినచో దానిని నిగ్రహించుకునే శక్తి మనకు లేకున్నా పరిణామం ఏంటి అని ఈ శ్లోకం ద్వారా మనం తెలుసుకోవచ్చు. మన ఇంద్రియములను నిగ్రహించుకుంటాము మన మనస్సుపై ఆధారపడి ఉంటుంది. మనస్సు బానిసగా తయారైందనుకోండి, అప్పుడు మనము మన ఇంద్రియాలను నిగ్రహించుకోలేము. అవి వైల్డ్ హోర్సెస్ అంటే మచ్చిక చేయని గుర్రాలలాగా పరిగెత్తూ ఉంటాయి మన కోరికల వెంబడి. ఆ కోరికలను తీర్చుకోవటానికి మన మనస్సు కూడా బానిసైపోయినచో ఇక లాభం లేదు. మన బుద్ధి కూడా బానిస అవుతుంది. దానితో పాటు మన యొక్క ఆత్మ కూడా బానిస అవుతుంది. అందుకే బానిస కాకుండా మన బుద్ధితో మన మనస్సును నిగ్రహించుకునినచో ఆ మనస్సు ద్వారా మన యొక్క ఇంద్రియములను నిగ్రహించుకోవచ్చు. ఇక అవే శక్తులను మనము భగవంతునిపై ధ్యాస పెట్టి భగవత్ అర్పణ చేసినచో అప్పుడే మనకు సుఖము శాంతి అనేది లభిస్తుంది. లేదా మన మన యొక్క స్వంత నాశనము కొరకే అది దోహదపడుతుంది. ఇక చూడండి, ఈ శ్లోకం భగవానుడైన శ్రీకృష్ణుడు ఎలా పలికాడో దాని అర్థాన్ని కూడా తెలుసుకుందాం, ఆంగ్లంలో మరియు తెలుగు భాషలో. ధ్యాయతో విషయాన్ పుంసః సంగస్తే శూపజాయతే. ధ్యాయతో విషయాన్ పుంసః సంగస్తే శూపజాయతే. సంగాత్ సంజాయతే కామః, కామాత్ క్రోధో విజాయతే. సంగాత్ సంజాయతే కామః, కామాత్ క్రోధో విజాయతే. ఆ When we contemplate on the worldly materials and subjects, we get attachment to them, to those subjects and objects. And then you see, you get a desire. When you fulfill the desire, you get momentary pleasure. When you cannot, then you get angry. That's the problem. When you get angry, you see, you are clouded. You cannot judge properly. You lose your memory. When you lose your memory, you also destroy your intellect. Once intellect is destroyed, you are completely destroyed. That means you will revolve in the unending cycle of death and rebirth. How terrible it would be if we allow ourselves to go through this sequence of events and then go through the cycle of time, that Mahakal. Not desirable at all. Desire to serve at the lotus feet of the Lord. That's the desire one has to have, not to fulfill the worldly desires. ఇంద్రియ విషయముల మీద చింతన చేయటం వలన వాటి మీద మమకారాసక్తి పెరుగుతుంది. ఆ ఆసక్తి కోరికలను తీర్చుకోవాలనే కుతూహలాన్ని కలుగజేస్తుంది. ఆ కోరికల నుండే క్రోధము ఉత్పన్నమవుతుంది. Let's see, once you get angry, what type of sequence of events it leads to. And finally, what is the consequence? Let's learn from this stanza uttered by Lord Krishna. Krodhat bhavati sammohah, sammohat smriti vibhramah, smriti bhramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashayat pranashyati. బుద్ధినాశాయత్ ప్రణశ్యతి. ఆ ఆ when you get angry, you are clouded. You cannot think for yourself. You do not know the discriminatory power, what is good and what is bad. You lose that. And once you do that, you lose your memory. When you lose your memory, you lose your intellect, thereby losing your discriminatory power. Once you lose your discriminatory power, you do not know how to analyze properly. You are completely ruined. You are degrading your Atman energy, your soul energy. That's how you will be completely perished forever. కోపము వచ్చినప్పుడు దాన్ని తప్పనిసరిగా నిగ్రహించుకోవాలి. నిగ్రహించుకోకపోయినచో మనము మన యొక్క జ్ఞాపక శక్తిని కోల్పోంటాం. జ్ఞాపక శక్తిని కోల్పోయినచో మన యొక్క బుద్ధి కూడా సరిగా పనిచేయదు. బుద్ధి పనిచేయనప్పుడు మనం అధోగతి చెందుతాం. దీన్నే భగవానుడైన కృష్ణుడు తెలుగులో చెప్పినచో ఎలా ఉంటుందో చూద్దాం. కోపము అనేది విచక్షణ రాహిత్యానికి దారితీస్తుంది. అది జ్ఞాపక శక్తి ని కోల్పోవడానికి దోహదపడుతుంది. మేఘంలాగా మనకు భ్రమని కలుగజేస్తుంది. ఆ భ్రమతో మన యొక్క స్మృతి కూడా కోల్పొంటాం. ఆ స్మృతిని కోల్పోయినచో మన బుద్ధి కూడా నశిస్తుంది. బుద్ధి నశించినప్పుడు మనుష్యుడు పతనమైపోతాడు. Let's get to the next shlok. Let's see what Lord Krishna embeds in this particular shlok. రాగద్వేష వియుక్తైస్తు విషయా నింద్రియైశ్చరన్ ఆత్మవశ్యైర్విధేయాత్మా ప్రసాదమధిగచ్చతి. ఆత్మవశ్యైర్విధేయాత్మా ప్రసాదమధిగచ్చతి. Lord Krishna says this in English the following way. But one who controls the mind and is free from attachment and aversion, even while using the objects of the senses, attains the grace of God. Attaining that grace of God is essential for you to tread the path of spiritualism, realizing yourself and realizing the Paramatman. ఇక కృష్ణ భగవానుడు ఈ శ్లోకంలోని అర్థాన్ని తెలుగులో చెప్పినచో ఎలా ఉంటుందో విందాం. ఇంద్రియ వస్తు విషయములను వాడేటప్పుడు కూడా మనస్సుని నియంత్రించుకొనిన వాడై మమకార ద్వేషరహితంగా ఉన్నవాడు భగవంతుని కృపకు పాత్రుడగుతాడు. ఇక ఈ శ్లోకానికి వస్తే అనగా జ్ఞాన విజ్ఞాన యోగపు 9వ శ్లోకానికి వస్తే భగవానుడైన కృష్ణుడు ఏం చెప్తున్నాడో చూస్తాం. లెట్స్ సీ వాట్ లార్డ్ కృష్ణ embeds in the following stanza. What can we understand from this stanza? Let's see. Punyo gandhah prithvyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau. Punyo gandhah prithvyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau. Jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapashvisu. Jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapashvishu. Ah, I am the pure fragrance of the earth and the brilliance of fire. I am the life force in all living beings and the penance of all ascetics. ఒకవేళ భగవానుడు దీన్ని తెలుగులో చెప్పినచు ఎలా ఉంటుంది చూద్దాం. మనము నివసించే భూమి యొక్క స్వచ్ఛమైన వాసనను నేనే, మరియు అగ్నిలోని తేజస్సును నేనే, సమస్త ప్రాణులలో జీవశక్తిని నేనే, మరియు తాపసులలో తపస్సు నేనే. భగవానుడు ఇలా తన యొక్క విభూతుల గురించి ఈ శ్లోకంలో చెప్తున్నాడు. Let's see what Lord Krishna says in the following stanza, where he says that he is the eternal seed of humanity and the creation of all in this cosmos. He is the eternal, permanent, Sanatana seed. He also says that he is the intelligence among the intellectuals, the intelligent people. He is that intelligence. And he is also saying that he is that brightness, that radiance, that tejas in the brightest people. He is that. He is that ability. Bijam mam sarvabhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam. Bijam mam sarvabhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam. Buddhir buddhi matamasmi. Buddhir buddhi matamasmi. Tejas tejasvinamaham. Oh Arjun, know that I am the eternal seed of all beings. I am the intellect of the intelligent and the splendor of the glorious. ఈ శ్లోకంలోని అర్థాన్ని తెలుగులో విందాం. ఓ అర్జున, సమస్త ప్రాణులకు సనాతనమైన మూల బీజము నేనే అని తెలుసుకును. ప్రజ్ఞావంతులలో ప్రజ్ఞను నేనే. తేజోవంతులలో తేజస్సును నేనే. Let's see what Lord Krishna says in this following stanza. శ్రీకృష్ణ భగవానుడు ఈ పలుకబోయే శ్లోకంలో ఏం చెప్తాడో విందాం. బలవంతులలో నేనే ఆ బలాన్ని. ఆ బలవంతులకు ఎప్పుడైతే రాగము ద్వేషము ఉండదో ఆ బలాన్ని నేనే. ఇక ఆడవారి మధ్య మగవారి మధ్య కామము అనే శక్తిని కూడా నేనే. ఆ శక్తి ద్వారా వారు తగిన కుమార్తెలను కుమారులను పొందటానికి ఇచ్చే శక్తిని నేనే ఇచ్చాను. ఆ శక్తి ద్వారా కుమారులను కుమార్తెలను పొంది వారిని కూడా భక్తులుగా చేస్తే భగవంతునికి ఎంతో సంతోషం. పెళ్లి చేసుకోవటము, ఆడవారు మగవారితో ఉండడము, మగవారు ఆడవారితో ఉండడము, జీవితకాలం అంతా వారితోనే గడపడము, సంతోషంగా ఉండడము, ధర్మాన్ని పాటిస్తూ అలా జీవితాన్ని సాగించినచో వారు తప్పకుండా నిజమైనటువంటి సుఖాన్ని శాంతిని పొందుతారు. Lord Krishna says that I am that strength in the strong people without any attachment and desires to enjoy the fruits of their actions. I am that energy. I am that Shakti. ఇక ధర్మానికి విరుద్ధంగా ఏ పని చేసినా అది మనకు లాభాన్ని కలిగించదు. ఈ జనన మరణ చక్రంలో ఇరుక్కుపోయేలా చేస్తుంది. One has to follow Sanatana Dharma. According to Dharma, you stay with women, get married, and stay in marriage, get sons and daughters, and bring them up, make them worthy sons and daughters, so that they become the devotees of Lord Krishna. I am that attraction between men and women, and according to the Sanatana Dharma, they have to get married, follow Dharma, and earn their living, fulfill their desires, materialistic and spiritual desires together, and then eventually get that liberation by following Sanatana Dharma. He says he is that attraction between men and women, but one needs to, people need to follow Dharma. Balam balavatam chaham, balam balavatam chaham, kamaraga vivarjitam, dharma viruddho dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshaba. Hearing, please pay attention. Dharma aviruddho dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshaba. Let's see how Lord Krishna explains this in English. Oh, best of Bharatas, in strong persons, I am their strength. devoid of desire and passion. I am that karma, that sexual activity, not conflicting with virtue of scriptural injunctions. The scriptural injunctions are the ones that tell us what is good and what is bad, what is allowed to be done and what is prohibited. ఇక భగవానుడైన శ్రీకృష్ణుడు దీన్నే తెలుగులో చెప్పినచో ఎలా ఉందో చూద్దాం. భరత వంశీయులలో శ్రేష్ఠుడా అర్జున, బలవంతులలో కామరాగ రహితమైన బలము నేనే, ధర్మ విరుద్ధము కాని లైంగిక క్రియలను నేనే. హరి ఓం. ఇక ఈ శ్లోకం ద్వారా భగవానుడు ఏం చెప్తున్నాడో చూద్దాం. లెట్స్ సీ what Lord Krishna says through this particular shlok from Bhagavad Gita. Jara marana mokshaya, jara marana mokshaya, mamashritya yatanti ye, te brahma tadviduhu कृत्समध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलं ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नमध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलं. If one wants to get liberation from all your karmic reactions, those bonds, you want to get liberation from all your sins, you want to get liberation from the cycle of rebirth and death, you need to seek my shelter, dedicate everything to me. This is what you need to know. ఈ జనన మరణ చక్రము నుంచి బయటపడాలంటే, ముసలితనములో వ్యాధుల గురించి బాధపడకుండా ఉండాలంటే నన్నే నీవు ఆశ్రయించాలి. ఆ విధంగా నన్ను ఆశ్రయించినప్పుడు నీవు తప్పకుండా నా ధామానికి చేరుకుంటావు. నా ధామములోనే నిజమైనటువంటి శాంతి మరియు ఆనందము ఉన్నాయి. ముసలితనము మరియు మరణము నుండి విముక్తి పొందటానికి పరిశ్రమిస్తూ నన్ను ఆశ్రయించిన వారు బ్రహ్మమును, తమ ఆత్మతత్వమును, సమస్త కర్మక్షేత్రమును తెలుసుకుంటారు. దట్స్ హౌ one comes to know about one's truth, as if he or she is part and parcel of the Paramatman, that supreme soul. You are an individualized soul. Once you know this truth, your true identification and the abode of Brahman, the truth of Brahman, the truth of Paramatman, then you will not get into the unending cycle of unending cycle of rebirth and redeath. Hari Om, Om Shanti. I hope you have acquired some knowledge, some wisdom through these shlokas uttered by Lord Krishna in English. as well as in Telugu language. Let's see what Lord Krishna said about the languages. He uttered the sound Om, that monosyllable, and he created the whole cosmos. And the sound travels through the space. Without space, it does not. His sound modifications become many a number of languages that we speak on the planet Earth to communicate. How do you communicate? With the Lord. The only way is to surrender to Him 100% and dedicate everything to Him for His pleasure while doing greater good to the whole humanity. That's how you can accomplish your goals. Otherwise, there is no way. And you see, we always refer to internal pranayam. That's the best technique to be in communication, in communion with the Lord internally by performing that yoga sadhana, internal pranayam. You need to balance your apana and prana right here in your bhrukuti and realize yourself with that energy, your true nature as an individualized Atman. And then a few inches above in the Sahasrara chakra, you can realize the Paramatman, that great Mahabharat, great effulgence of Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Shiva, or any of his incarnations, his abodes, his pastimes. So you have seen that what the lag brings and what your absorption into Lord brings you. You decide yourself. The lag actually leads you to the hell. And when you are spiritually conscious, when you are in Sri Krishna consciousness or the Lord's consciousness, you reach his abode of peace and bliss. You choose and accordingly act. Hari Om. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdharah Tatra Shri Vijayodbhutihi Dhruvane Tirmatir Mama Tatra Shri Vijayodbhutihi Dhruvane Tirmatir Mama. Ah, ah. Wherever there is that mystique, Yogeshwar, the spiritual master, Lord Krishna, wherever there is Arjun, who dedicates everything to him, surrenders 100% to his friend, his Lord, there certainly you can find abundant wealth, that Shri, abundant Shakti, that energy, and victory, abundant victory, and justice in every which field, economic, political, and social. And you can find that morale, people following in every direction, in every walk of life. That's how you can have peace of mind and enjoy the topics of the Lord, the divine topics of the Lord. There is no use listening to your radio of various news or watching the day-to-day lives, various channels on the TV. Getting that news actually disturbs you. You see, the flashbacks of viewing such different channels, bringing you different programs, news, violence, etc. Your goal is to be peaceful, non-violent. Get that moksha. Let's work toward it. Let's forget about the anger, greed, and karma, that desire. Renounce them. Only have the desire to achieve the goal of getting to the abode of peace and bliss of Paramatman. That's our main goal. Govindaya Namaha, Govardhanaya Namaha, Rishikeshaya Namaha, Aniruddhaya Namaha, Keshavaya Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha, Swasti.